Well, let's have a little look at USJPY.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. If this is your first time here, I'm the big fella Scruff, and sitting next to me is Wonder Wink, who I'm actually wondering, fuck me, she's working. she's working today, boys and girls. She's actually doing her job. Well done. Happy days. Can I retire then?
You wish.
That'll be right. Well, since I can't retire, I better get out on the chart. And what we're going to do, I'm going to break down a chart in front of you, and I'm going to trade it. And I'll trade it in the moment, so you can see it from start to finish, and the results at the end of it. Now, I do this pretty much every day, and if that's of interest, do take a second to subscribe and like the video, just so it motivates me to do more. Now, I do have a vicious sense of humor, so from time to time you do see me go off on one. I am old, so I often have a rant as well. Nothing like that. And why? Because none of this is scripted. What you see is real life. So the emotions that we go through when life isn't as good come out, and the happy times come out as well. It's just something that we do. Happy days. Everything's in the moment. So let's see what the moment is today. Well, the chart of choice is going to be this bad boy. And why? Well, I've already shown the guys this. It's telling me to sell it. And of the two that it's flagged up, it's telling me it's good. Now, there is news events at 10 o'clock on the euro, which is why I'm staying away from pounding the euro as well, because I normally trade cable. But when I'm looking at this, the number one market it's picked out of this basket, because this is the one I look at first, and I'm looking to see if there's any majors. It's the USJPY. It's here. So why? US is incredibly strong. JP not so much. Okay. And then when we look over here, that's slowing down, and that's losing ground as well. Now, when you look at this, you would think, well, if that's the case, you just buy it. Not necessarily. If something is at the top of the tree, it can only really go one way, and that's down. And if something's at the bottom, it can only really go up. So sometimes it's reverse psychology. Okay, so you've got to kind of pay half attention to that. Now, I've also done a video, which I do all the time for the guys. That is there. And what these are, it's me telling the chaps in the Discord what I'm going to do before I do it. So that was posted up at 9:32, so they can now trade along with this, because what we're about to do is going to be in the moment. Now, early in the morning, sort of 7:20, I did this. They could see what products is going to be traded. This is the strength basket I've just shown you. And then I take it a bit further, where once I've committed and I've had a good look at it, I'll pick the products I'm going to trade and I put it in here, and they'll know the direction I'm going in, the chart that I'm looking at to get my idea, and whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Now, it's telling me to wait, and I'll explain that in just a second. And then further from that, we also, well, we just have a jolly old time of things, having a chat, really. Morning call this morning, where we have face-to-face every morning. Tomorrow it's open Q&A, so you can have a talk. Talking of Q&As, I will be back live on Sunday night for a live stream. If you can't make it, drop in the comments below a question, or go in the description, get my contact details, and I'll bring it up in the live stream for you. It's open Q&A, traders clinic, and the idea is to make you better traders. It genuinely is. So what are we doing with this one, with all of that said? Well, let's just go out to the hourly and we'll have a little look at it, because I'm going to put some parameters into this. what we can see is a solid drive up. It plateaued, pushed, failed, came right back down, and then slammed to the top. But this section, if we look, didn't breach the high. It just came flushed out down. Now that's gone up and banged off that level there. So for all it's pushing up here, I think the premise is to the downside. Okay. Now, if we move this out to the daily so we can see what's going on, again, you can see the move. It's plateaued here, long tail pushing down, holding under this level. Okay. Right, so that's kind of an area of interest. I'm going to get rid of the blue ones because I'm going to put them back in. So let's have a little look at this. Why might it be waiting? Well, it's waiting because I'm wanting a better price against this. This can be highlighted a bit better on the 5 minute. Slam, a strong directional move will retrace on itself, which is here, and it's stopped dead, but now it's failing. Okay. So what are these bits I'm looking at? Well, what I'm looking at is this move here. That one on the hourly. So if I draw a fib onto it, I've got my trading arena. I can see it, which is from there all the way down to here. I can now put in some key points. Well, there's the first one, which it's actually just tapped on. And we can actually start working now, which is why I'm interested in this. Drop these in, came down to 38. There's your 50. There's a nice strong level here. I'll explain that one in just a second. Right, we've now got good entry exits into this. That is strong because that's a high time frame sort of mark that I've put on. That is hypothetical. Okay, these are solid turning points. These are hypothetical turning points. But when you'll often see them marry up. Okay, well, if they're going to marry up, this seems to be pushing down. So let's have a little look. Yeah, count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that candle there is probably a good marker to get down into here. Simple stuff. So let me just have a little look. Yeah, live with that. So I'm just going to let the trade come to me for about 10 pips. Just like so. And from here, we'll just let it trigger in. And we're going to get out about there. Give or take. Now, I got clipped yesterday. I got it wrong last night. Well, I didn't get it wrong. I analysed it right, but I got in too early. And I had to lose some money. So at the moment, we don't have anything running. The only thing that's looking to open is that order I've put in. But if you look at my history, and you'll see this following on from yesterday, I did really well with that. But there was a turnaround late in the night. And I broke my rule, which I shouldn't do, which is go against the grain. And it clouted me. All right. So when we were discussing in Thoughtful Thursday today, there were a number of elements that were brought up. One of it was money. And one of the elements there, as you see, I work on relatively small position sizes, but then I build it up. I can go to about 25 quid a point, 30 at a push. But I try to keep it less than that. And I'll go in with a fiver. If it moves against me, I'll put another fiver in. I'll build it up. I'll capitalize on sort of the movement. But the question I was asked this morning is, well, if I know what I'm doing and I've got a good hit rate, why don't I just load up and go for it? Well, there's a very good reason why I don't do that. We work in an unpredictable environment. We work in probabilities. So there's a high probability that I'm going to be right, but there's a low probability I'm going to be wrong. But that low probability, if I am wrong, can hurt me. So I just negate the pain. You know, I don't want to trade from a point of emotion. I did it last night because I am only human. And I paid the price for it. Now that's not good. and I was really, really annoyed with myself. So I had to reset this morning. I went back in, make certain my head was back in gear, because I don't like to be beat. That's one of my traits. Would you say that?
Very true.
Very true. Why is that then?
Because you don't like to be beat.
I'm a competitive.
Very.
I'm not.
You are.
I'm not competitive at all. It's just there's only going to be one winner, and it'll be me.
Oh, right. That's not competition, is it not?
It is. It's like the age-old thing. Mike Tyson once said, "It's not the size of the dog; it's the fight in the dog." And he's right. You've got to want it. And we discussed this again this morning. When it comes to trading, you can't be half-arsed at it, because you've got to be on your A game every day. And if you were to put it into sports, it's like a Sunday golfer going up against Tiger Woods. That's the level of commitment, because the Sunday golfer is going to get smashed to smithereens, but I'll guarantee Tiger will play his A game, whatever he's doing. Now, when we come to markets, you can either just be a dabbler, where you're just going to put a couple of quid on. But what you're putting a couple of quid against, hedge fund managers who will have their A game every day, they will induce you to take trades you don't want to take, which is why you've got to be careful. But that can be your edge. Power is not knowing what someone else doesn't. It's knowing what somebody else does. So if you know a hedge fund can't dump a price in, they can't, they have to induce a trade, then you can start looking for patterns within the chart, and you can see the breadcrumbs those guys leave behind. Well, if they're going to induce trades, that means they're going to force the market 50 pips. Well, if you only want 10 and you know they're going to force the market, well, that's your edge. Knowing what they know. But people don't. They try to outthink the market, second guess it, and then they make a mistake. And that mistake can be costly. And if you've just done, as the guy said, so it's a little salute to Simon who did bring this question up, load up because you think you're going to be right, the day you're wrong is the day it hurts you. So being conservative is the way. It genuinely is. And that's what I'm doing here, because I've got a good idea this can push down. So instead of just lumping straight into the market and then hoping to God, well, I have to see the market come to me, which means it has to break this, which will bring it to here. Simple. Is that simple?
If you say so.
That'll be no then. You know, you can go into the DNA of a trade. What are we looking at here? Well, there's the push, but there is more red than there is green on this movement down. You can see it. So you can sort of look to see whether you're right and just leave that there. You know, would I trade off that? Not really. But you can look into the way it is. And then if you're looking at this, well, what is this? Well, that's 15 minutes. How is that 15 minutes being built up? Well, it's a huge red and two small green. So how does that change the dynamic? Well, there it is there. It's making a small body candle. Why? Because there's a lot of pressure in the opposite direction. You know, and that's what's happening. That 15 minutes, if we just sort of, there it is there, 9:30. So go back to the 5 minute and you count this back out. So where are we at? So that would be them three. There's the indecision. Drive, push back down, up. Same thing's happening here. So what you're doing is you're looking to see how these candles are made, and you start seeing the DNA inside of them. Well, all right. Well, we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. Okay. So if we look for 9 o'clock, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 15 minutes will make up an hour, And you can just see by looking at it, if you look at that hourly candle, it's going to be a huge red body. Well, there it is. Huge red body. Okay. So what was that? That's 8 o'clock. So if we look at a 4-hour candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, that'll be a big green body on the 4-hour. There it is there. So just dropping down a time frame to see what you're looking at, you can actually start seeing the DNA of a candle. So in here, what's it showing? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be a big body, but at the top of that candle is indecision. And where's the indecision? On a key level. All right. So when it opens up the next one, it's actually telling you this can be moving down, because these candles were progressively getting smaller and it ended on indecision. So that indecision can be an indicator as a change in sentiment. Why is there a change in sentiment? Well, because we're coming up to highs and we're also coming into a solid level and we're just breaking around a hypothetical level. So it's telling you the market's going to have a bit of a think here. Well, down it comes, and that's now pushing back to where I want to get into, which is excellent. Which means all I have to do is I can now just follow the price up, just like so. Maybe increase my target a little bit. Simple. Mathematical, worked out, systematic. So that's the play. We're going to trade this down into here, see if we can make a few quid out of it. And happy days. You know, I do have half an eye on this as well. Just show you this in the meantime. Now this, again, there's the drive, pull back down into these, and you can do your bounces. So I'll keep half an eye on this, but I don't particularly want to trade it. So we'll just work on this one for now. Okay, catch you in a bit. Okay, boys and girls, that's kind of done. In fact, it's exceptionally done. We've caught quite a lot of pips this morning. In fact, we've caught a tremendous amount of pips. I mean, one of the moves is 71. Well, say 72 pips. But we'd also had this out prior, and that was creeping about there, aren't she?
I've got a confession.
You've got a confession. Well, hold on, she's got a confession. We'll come back to this in a second.
I've opened this parcel and it's not mine.
You've opened the parcel and it's not yours. Yeah, well, there's a shocker.
I'll let you open it then.
Oh, it's mine.
Yeah.
All right, okay. See what we got, boys and girls.
Bit of a clue.
Just a bit. Let's back all in. All right, hold on. Oh, ho, ho, ho. It's fingering. It's one of the musicians from the cantina.
Right, I get it.
How good is that, boys and girls? How good is that? Where'd this come from?
Doesn't say. There's that thing there.
I'm just expect.
It doesn't say.
No, it doesn't. It just says me. Right. Okay. Very sorry. Very sorry. I don't actually know who this is from. It might be from the squad because we were kicking off the other day. They lost, I won. And I said I'd have one of these. But that's only one and there was 7 of them. So there should be 6 more on the way in.
Oh, not like pushing your luck, is it?
Well, I've got a wall to fill up. But that is superb. Thank you very much. That's going to live there, boys and girls, with the rest of them. So, impressed. What a good day. What a good day. Thank you. I'm gonna have a bit of coffee now. Oh, I'm impressed. And just to highlight that, let's have a moment.
Hello.
Oh, that was a good moment. You know, I do like the comedy in these. Some do, some don't. But I've got a warped sense of humour, so it does kind of help me. But I do have a very good work ethic as well. I know when to play and I know when to work. And some of the guys might actually comment below. Anybody ever contacts me, I was speaking to a guy this morning. Don't know him from Adam, but he was pleased that I actually took the time to answer him. And why? Well, it's only polite. You know, you should. If somebody's taken the time to message you, you should take the time to respond. It's that simple. I know loads of channels that I reach out to just to sort of talk to them. And as soon as they figure out that I do this for a living, they won't speak to me. Probably because I'll put a hole in what they do. And many of them just don't bother talking to you at all unless you say you want to buy that course. Then they love you. Since I don't sell a course, I do moderate the Scruffy Squad, but that's not really selling anything. It's a community. What you're seeing on the screen now is my wages. If I don't make this work, I don't get fed. It's that simple. And I'm not greedy. And I'll touch on that for just 30 seconds after we've added this up. All right. Okay. So let's have a look. So what we're looking at is from the second. Well, I can actually do this a quick and easy way. 421.50 minus 234 minus 9 plus 210 should give me 388. So that's what we've just worked on today. Is that right? 388? Looks about right. 71.80, 50 quid, 350, 125.20 plus 850 plus 650 plus plus 31 minus 52 plus 32 plus 77 plus 33. 338.55 is what I get that to. Give or take. Anyway, we've done well. We've done well. These bits here are just where you see the oscillations moving. Sometimes you pull it into break even pretty quick and it stops you out, but then you can reposition, because I'm of the belief that if the market comes down, stops you out, who says you can't put the order back in? And I'd rather it just go away and then follow the price, rather than see it go into negative and then pray to God it comes back. Different way of thinking, different way of thinking. But let me just touch on to greed a second. It's very good to see big figures, but the difference is those big figures need a big account to go with it. Okay, so if you've got 20, 30 pound a pip on the account, if you're sub 50,000 liquid, you're probably putting a lot of stress on the account. So you have to scale down your position size in relation to your account size. And what I mean by that is, if you've got £50 a point, just for argument's sake, think about this logically, and you've got a 10,000 account. You might think you've got a lot of money. You might even think you've got a lot of money if you've got 20,000. But how big a chunk would that be taken out at 50 quid a point? You know, because it doesn't take long. You know, two pips against you, it's 100 quid. 10 pips against you, it's 500 quid. You know, sharp racks up really quickly. And then if you haven't got the strength to kill it or be able to carve and reposition, what you're going to do is you're just going to blow your account to smithereens. So I'd always be cautious of your position size. I have a big account that can take my position size. But if I'm wrong, the dent doesn't hurt it. Not in the grand. Oh, thank you. Can I have a pin for that? Oh, I've got your dinner as well. Fantastic. Not in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't hurt it. Because preservation of your account is the first rule in the book. You haven't got an account, you ain't trading. It's that simple. You want to eat, you need enough money to pay for it. And the other side of that is, well, you take all of your profit out of your broker at the same time. So you traded up and you made £100, but next month you took that £100 out. You're starting at square one. Only take half of the profit off and leave the other half to grow your account till it's at a point that can give you a livable wage. Mine's at a point that gives me a livable wage. That's why I don't need to increase my position sizes. I might do for this coming year just because I need a pay rise. Cost of living is ridiculous. So I may edge it up a little bit, but it won't be much. You know, I might do 750 a point. You know, why? Because my account can probably take it. And then that extra £2.50 added in is probably still up to my maximum position size. Very, very simple. But we'll see what the tax year is and how the gas prices are, etc. Because it's ridiculous at the minute. It's really expensive. And that's that. So there you go. Sermon according to Scruff. If you're stuck, I'm very easy found. Drop into the comments or the description. You'll find my contact details. Do comment on the videos. It genuinely motivates me to do more, and I enjoy the little bit of a chat. And if you want to be at it straight away, you will find a free Telegram and the WhatsApp, etc. down there. And you get hold of me pretty much straight away. And about that's it really. But it looks like, do you know, every time she's on the camera, she's got summit in a gob, hasn't she? Every time.
No,
You're all, for somebody.
Am I eating?
What's in front of you?
We salad.
Salad. You know, for somebody who's as skinny mini as her, she constantly eats all day.
No, I don't. I eat 3 times a day.
3 times a day. What's that?
Breakfast, dinner and tea.
Well, what about when you have your supper? What about at midnight when you go, I'm just going down to the kitchen to get a drink of water or whatever else you want to nibble? You constantly bloody go. She just grazes all day.
Drink water.
Ah, sure. She sticks stupid lemon in it as well. It's horrible.
It's lovely.
It's horrid. You know, Budweiser. It's the way forward. Happy days. Anyway, so as always, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.